Hello, welcome to Crafting with the Crafty Chick. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we are on our way to creating another craft project. One of the things that we're going to be using is the Poinsettia. And what a great bundle. Stampin' Up! Did a good job with this one. And so we have the DSP, which is what we're using on our project, and then the Poinsettia Petals bundle. I'll turn the next page. And this is on page 16 in the mini catalog. I'm still trying not to call it the holiday catalog, because for years that's what we called it, was the holiday catalog. And now they've changed the name to August to December 2020 mini catalog. So, but here is the beautiful Poinsettia bundle that we are using, which has quite a few stamps. There are 18 stamps total, and then there's the coordinating dies that go with it. And then on page 9, the heartwarming hug suite. Really, really cute with the little coffee cups and then the little carriers that you can put your coffee cups or your goodies in. You can put a cellophane bag with cookies or candy or little homemade baked goods in it, and lots of possibilities. So we are using this coffee carrier as one of our items that we're using today, and the mini coffee carriers are on page 9. They're $5 and you get a total of 8, and the color of them is craft, like craft cardstock, which is like cardboard color. And so this is what we are going to be using on our project today. Also, there is on page 31 the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack, which is this beautiful. We have this dark green, which I think is shaded spruce, or call me clover. It's shaded spruce, and then there is this gold small ribbon, but we're going to be using this beautiful 1-inch shaded spruce ribbon on our project today. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and get started now, and I will show you a sample of our project, and then I will give you the dimensions. And so here is the coffee carrier, and so you have 2 separate compartments. This kind of divides in the middle. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but as you can see, it stops at midpoint. But you can put 2 coffee cups in here, or 2, even candles. I mean, there's so many possibilities what you can do. And here's that beautiful shaded spruce 1-inch like argyle pattern. Really, really pretty, and it's just a very fluid motion ribbon. And here is what we've decorated with the Poinsettia, the DSP, which is backed up to real red cardstock. And then we've got the Poinsettia flowers. So we've got 3 different petal sizes here. And the shaded spruce leaves, which I love the dies in this one. The leaves will die cut and emboss at the same time. And then we have our gold foil sprigs, and this die is also part of that set as well. And so all 4 sides of the carrier have been decorated. No poinsettias on this side, but you can certainly do both sides. And so this is our carrier that we're going to decorate today. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side and bring in. So there's lots of design ideas out there, but this design idea is strictly a Crafty Chick original, so my own design. And so now I'm going to bring in our pieces that we need. And I love these coffee carriers. What a great bargain. And they actually come flat, so you will assemble these, and I will show you how to do that. But I just want to go over the mat sizes with you really quick, and we'll come back and start assembling our pieces. And so you're going to need 2 real red strips, because you're going to do one side and the other side, which is this rectangle. And the real red, you need 2, and they are 2 3/16 by 5 5/8. And then you also need 2 pieces of the Poinsettia DSP, and they are double back, so you have a pattern on each side. And then these ones for the long side is 2 inches by 5 7/16, and you will need 2 of those as well. And then for the short side, which is like a square, you also need 2 real red pieces And these are 2 3/16 by 2 11/16, and you will need 2 pieces of those. And then the same Poinsettia DSP, you will need 2 of these as well, and it's 2 inches by 2.5, and you need 2 of those. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm just checking my notes here really quick. Okay. And so for this project, all you need is your mono glue and your dimensionals. And so we'll have those ready to go for us. Oh, and a bone folder. You will need your bone folder as well. So we're going to go ahead and start by gluing our DSP pieces to our real red mat. We'll go ahead and do that. And this is a super quick, easy project, especially if you want to do multiples. And what a great gift to give to somebody. Quick and easy. We're just going to glue all of our pieces together. And I thought when I saw these in the catalog, after the catalog was put out for demos to see, I thought, oh, this is a product with the coffee carriers and the heartwarming hug suite. I thought that is going to sell out and be super popular. And I know it was on the back order list and the low inventory list for quite some time, but they've been able to keep their coffee carriers in stock, which I'm surprised. Okay, and now we're just gluing our smaller pieces on to our real red mat. And you do want to leave a border all the way around, a real red border showing through. It just really makes this DSP pop. Okay, so now we are ready to adhere our pieces to our coffee carrier. And as you can see, there are score lines. So here you will see 2 dotted lines here, and then here we have score lines. And those will come into play when we go to put this together. So, but we're going to go ahead and start gluing our mats onto our coffee carrier. And I'm leaving a border of the craft cardstock showing on all 4 sides. So you do want to make sure you leave that border. Let's get that down. And then we're going to do one of our squares here for the sides. And also be mindful of the positioning of your poinsettia flowers, because some of them, if you turn it around, it makes your flowers look like they're upside down. So be mindful of that too. And then we're gonna, so that is one side done. So now we're gonna flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Make sure to see which way my flowers are going. Okay, I think I like this way. And that is something you want to be aware of when you're using pattern DSP, is to make sure you know which way your pattern's going. So you don't put something upside down. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Okay, we get so caught up in crafting that sometimes we just forget to double check that. Okay, so now all of our pieces are glued on. And so while that is drying a little bit more, we're going to go ahead and start assembling our poinsettia. So I have here 3 shaded spruce leaves, and these have been die cut and embossed. I don't know if there we go. You really get that beautiful embossed impression into the leaf. So the die has 1 big leaf and a smaller leaf, and so you can see the difference in these 2 sizes here. So we're using 1 big one and 2 of the smaller leaves. But we're going to start with our flower first. So this is the center of the flower that has been die cut, and it also will emboss as well. I don't know if we can get the camera to pick that up. It also has a die that will die cut those holes out as well. And this is die cut out of crushed curry. Bumblebee and crushed curry are very, very similar in color. And then we have a big poinsettia petal, a medium poinsettia, and a small. I forgot to show you the stamp set. And so you have multiple ones, and then there is even a smaller one that you could do as well. And then here's one with multiple petals on it. And then here's the leaves that we are using. And I will show you really quick the die cuts. Turn this over. And so here's the flowers. Now, something I do want to mention to you really quick. I have pieces of Scotch tape on here because you have a piece that will do the main outline, but if you want to emboss it, then you can. You have to make sure you're on the right. You can put a piece of tape to hold these two in place and run it through your machine. It will die cut and emboss this out at the same time. Clever idea. And then the leaves are the same way. As you can see here, this is where I cut it out of my shaded spruce. And I have pieces of Scotch tape here to hold these two together. But if you want to separate them, all you have to do is just pop out the embossed one, and you can just do the main outline of the leaf. And then there's a sprig, and this is what we did the gold sprigs out of with the gold foil paper. So definitely a fun set to build flowers. And these would also make a great home decor piece. You can use them for to accent the tops of your gift boxes or gift packaging, cards, tags. You can do so many different things with this. Okay, so now we need to come in with our bone folder. We are going to, not with our big one, we're going to take our medium piece and we're going to make sure your stamp side's facing up. So basically you're coming in from the bottom with your bone folder, and you're just going to gently, kind of like when you curl ribbon, you know, that curling ribbon, you're just going to run your bone folder, and what you're doing is you're curving that petal downward. And you're just going to come in and do that on all 5 of your petals. And don't pull too tight, because if you pull, you can actually rip and detach a petal from your flower. You don't want to do that. And then we're going to come in and do the same thing with the smaller poinsettia flower. So some people call them poinsettia, some people call them poinsettias. So where I'm from, we always call them poinsettias. So that's what I'm calling them. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take our dimensionals and put in the center of our big flower and peel away the backing. And so what we're doing is we're building our flower. And so now you want to take these petals and you want to offset, because you want to cover the openings of your big flower. And when you've got that right where you want it, go ahead and push down in the center of that dimensional. And so now what you're going to have is your petals are kind of like they're tucked under the flower to make it more realistic. Then we're going to come in with another dimensional over the top, the center of the middle one. Peel that backing away, and we're going to put our smaller one in, and again offsetting, and I'm covering the openings in between each petal of that flower. And secure that down, and then we're going to come in just with a dab of glue in the center for our crushed curry center, and go ahead and secure that down. Give that a minute to dry. And then on the back of our leaves, we're going to put dimensionals on the back of those. And I did 2 on the back of each leaf. Love these dimensionals, are great. Use them all the time. Okay. So now our flowers should be pretty well dry now. And if you wanted to come in, if you want a little more curl, you can absolutely come in and do more of a downward curl on some of your petals if you wanted to. I'm just kind of lifting up my little one just a little bit just to create more of that 3D effect. I don't know if we can pick this up on camera, but let's give it a try here. Maybe that kind of gives you, so you really have more of that 3D effect. Okay, so now we're going to come in with our carrier again and bring it back in. And just be mindful that, so I'm pushing this open just gently, and it kind of comes into shape. And now I'm going to completely crease this side down. Now also where this dotted line is, you want to give that a press, because you'll find it kind of catches, and so if you go ahead and press that down, it will really start forming a shape. But I'm going to come in and crease this side down and come in with my bone folder and secure those score lines. Okay, and that just kind of starts to get the shape of your carrier. And so the reason that we are doing this is we want to gauge where the center is. You don't want to go by the handle because, as you can see, the handle is not dead center. And so you kind of just want to start figuring out where you want the shape of your flower, but be mindful you don't want your petals extending too far below the bottom of your box, because then it will kind of not sit flat. So when you've got your flower in the center, and be mindful of where your petals are lining up toward the bottom, we're going to go ahead and secure this down. I forgot to put dimensionals on the back of our flower, so we're going to do that now. And I put 5 on the back. So it's just kind of one on each of the petals, and then, oh, another one in the center. And so I have 6 dimensionals on there, 1 on each petal, and then in the center. So we're going to peel those away. Okay, and then remember where I had. Okay, and I'm coming right in the center, and I'm going to go ahead, when you've got it lined up right where you want it, go ahead and give that a push right in the center, and that secures your poinsettia to your carrier. And then we're going to peel away the backing off of our leaf, but we're not going to put them on yet because we still have to bring in our gold leaf sprigs. So I'm peeling the backing away off of our dimensionals. Okay, and so what I did on mine was I did a big leaf on this side, a small leaf, and then this is a small leaf on this side. Okay, so we're doing a small leaf over here, but before we chuck it in under our flower, and that's the nice thing about having our flower in dimensionals, because you can come in and chuck it in behind the flower. So I'm just going to chuck that in underneath there. And you just eyeball whatever looks good. And I'm coming in with my fingers and pressing on this side just to get that adhesion. Okay, and then I'm coming in on this side. And you can play around with it until you have it the way that you want it. And that looks good there. And when I first came up with this idea on this carrier, I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the poinsettia or the polar bear. And I kept looking at this poinsettia and I said, I have to do a project with this. It's too pretty. Okay, so now we're going to come in with a dab of glue. And behind this petal right here, which is over the top of my leaf, I'm coming in and I'm just putting a dab of glue. And that is where I'm going to place a gold sprig. Whatever looks good to you. And you're going to give that a minute to dry. And then I'm going to come in and do the same thing over here and adhere this gold sprig. I'm lifting this flower petal up. Putting a dab of glue over the top of that leaf there. I'm going to turn this back around here. And just secure that down. So I'm using my bone folder just to hold that down for a moment so that that gets adhered over the top of that leaf. And if I didn't want this poking through, I can certainly just tuck that in behind that flower petal right there. Okay, so I like the ends to kind of be lifted up, so it's more realistic like you would do if you were doing a flower arrangement. Okay, so now, once we have all of our pieces secured on here, we're ready to assemble the rest of our box. And so I found it's easier to go ahead and take your sides and push them outward and fold on that score line and then bring them back in. And you're going to bring them all the way in so you can really get that score line sharp. So I'm bringing this flap in and fold on that score line. Okay, so now you have your side flaps, and we're going to do the same thing with these. And as you notice, this one has more of, this end has a tab where this one has an opening. So the opening piece actually goes in first. And so I'm tucking the sides in and I'm bringing this one in and sharpening that score line down. Now there's two ways we can do this. Let me bring this back and then toward me. This is your tab piece. So you have your opening piece here and then your side tabs. You can take this and tuck it underneath that opening and secure your box that way, or you can have your side tabs inside the box, have your opening piece, and then tuck your tab under that way. You can do either way. It's really which way you want. And then you have your carrier. And so that is assembled. And it will sit flat. Okay. But I think I actually like it the other way around. So I'm bringing my opening in, my side tabs in, and then my tab piece tucked inside. Okay, so then we have our carrier, and then I'm going to come in with this ribbon. This ribbon is just beautiful. It is from the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack, and the shade of Spruce Argyle ribbon. I mean, it is just pretty smooth and just a beautiful, easy ribbon to tie into a bow. And this is 1 inch wide, but oh, you just make beautiful bows with this ribbon. So on the first project, I want to show you that I decided to tie it directly onto this handle. And one thing I don't like about that is I like the middle of my bows to be nice and tight. And it's harder to get that on here without crushing the sides of your handle. And then I just found myself constantly pulling my tail to redo. And so I actually found it was easier to, on the spool, to pre-tie your ribbon, because now I have that center nice and tight, and then adhere this with a glue dot on top of my handle. So I'm going to come in with a large, so I use these ThermoWeb Zots, and they come in different sizes. I think you guys saw these on one of my other videos, and this is the large size. I'm almost out. I need to get some more. Oh yeah, I definitely need to get some more. I'm down to like my last few here. And so I pre-tied my bow, and I'm going to go for just right in the center there and kiss it up against this glue dot here in the middle. Lift that away. Okay. And so now I'm going to go ahead and secure this up to the top of my carrier. and adhere that, stick that on. And then I'm going to come in with my bone folder. I love the loops, you know, the nice open loops of a beautiful bow. And so I'm just, there we go. And you can actually trim some more off, or, you know, you could put a tag here hanging if you want to give this to somebody to and from. And there we go, guys. We have our coffee carrier. Okay, wonderful. So these are all of our, this is the last project for the month of October. And I am going to, this weekend, start working on projects for November. So they'll be primarily for Christmas, so it's more Christmassy and winter themed project. And also, one of the prizes for the drawing for the next month will be from the Snowflake Splendor Suite. And it is an embossing folder. Let me pull it up here. I love this suite. Love, love, love this suite. So we have a winter snow embossing folder, which is on page 37. And it is just snowflakes, snowflakes, snowflakes. And it's beautiful. So in the drawing next month, this will be one of the prizes that we're going to draw for. Okay. So, and here we have our projects. And I hope you guys had fun crafting with me today. I'm also going to bring in our dimensions one more time. And just remember, for the long sides of our carrier, the mat, which is what we did the real red, is we need 2, and they're 2 3/16 by 5 5/8. The DSP, you also need 2, and they're 2 by 5 7/16. And then for the short side of our carrier, the mat is 2 3/16 by 2 11/16, and you need 2 of those as well. And then the DSP piece is 2.5 by 2 inches, and you need 2 of those. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining me and crafting with me. Let me know if you have any questions. I love you. Bye-bye.